Hi, this is Gina with Gina's Crafting Spot. There was a picture that I showed you that I'm going to be using, and those are some of the products I think I might be using. And that Enjoy paper that I'm going to end up um, using as my background. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it was in my stash. But that stack that I'm looking through right now is the Echo Park Simple Life little scrapbook kit by Deanna Rutter. And it comes with the stickers and the alphabets and those double-sided papers. So I'm trying to decide what colors I want to use for my layout. And that's a picture of my cousin on the left and myself on the right when I went to go visit her in Laredo, Texas. So what I had done was I had flown to San Antonio, and I stayed there for a while, and then I went to Laredo. I was there for a week. So I went to Laredo. I drove to Laredo, and it's like a 3-hour drive. And I did that all by myself. I'm like so proud of myself because I usually never can go anywhere by myself, like far. I just get lost. It's like going around the block. It's ridiculous how easily I get lost. So anyway, I rented a car, and I got a little bug. It was so cute. And yeah, like I said, it took me 3 hours. And I was going to say something else, and now I don't remember what it was. But you just saw me mount that on a piece of that yellow paper. I think it was a cut apart that I turned around and used the back side of it. I don't remember. When I remember, I'll tell you. And I think that black, I'll see when I show you. I think it's crepe paper. I don't even know. But anyway, there I am. I took the distress ink and I'm just going around the edges, make it stand out a little more. And trying to figure out what colors I want to use for the background, the layering. So that paper I think says lovely. I want to say. No, it doesn't. Such a ding dong. It's in front of me. It's called Today. Let me see if I could peel up the back and see what. Because I ended up putting a piece of plain ugly paper. I just flipped it over just to have a mat behind it because it got kind of warpy. And you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to take out my molding paste. So I used my close to my heart. Yeah, I think that's close to my heart. That edger to make your, instead of ripping it, I got one of those rulers to do it for me. Because my fingers hurt. When I rip with my fingers, that really, after a while, it kind of hurts. So I'm a baby and just want it to be easy as possible. So I got that a long time ago. And it worked really, really well. So I just use that for the top and the bottom using that cute pink paper. And I swear I cannot remember what I was going to tell you about San Antonio, about my little trip. I don't know. Dang it, I can't remember. Sorry, that was a dog. Alright, so I'm trying to decide. I'm going to cut it down. And I'm going to use my ruler again. I figure I need to kind of, I'm doing all that with that green, but I'm not going to end up using it. I'm going to end up scalloping it, and then I'm not even going to use it. Sorry, I don't know how to cut out yet, because whenever I try to cut something, I must do it the wrong way, because everything cuts out. I cut out the wrong parts of it. So yeah, I was hanging out with my girlfriend the beginning of the week. I think I got there on like a Friday. I think it was Friday to Friday. So I got there Friday, spent the weekend with my girlfriend, my best friend from high school. I don't know if I've done a layout with her yet, but I'm going to for sure. And then on Monday or Tuesday, I decided to, because she had to go back to work. So I decided to drive to Laredo. Like I said, 3 hour drive. Now I remember what I was going to say. So yeah, like I said, I get lost going across around the corner. So we knew I was going to be renting a car, so we have a GPS. Of course, I don't have a smartphone. We have a old flip phone kind of thing, which is fine because I don't work and I don't need to text anybody, and it's working for us now. It's super cheap. So anyway, that's why we don't have a smartphone. So I don't have a GPS on my phone, so I took my GPS from home, and oh my gosh, that was such a lifesaver. It was a straight shot from San Antonio to Laredo. But still, I mean, at least if you needed to go somewhere, if I needed to go somewhere, I knew exactly where to go. And I was driving late at night too, so I had to be sure that I wasn't going to get lost. So I'm so glad I took that GPS. It's been my lifesaver for years already. Every time I get lost, I just punch in home and it'll take me home no matter where I am, if I'm lost or whatever. So I know, kind of sad, right? So I had to go away and I came back, and then when I came back I decided I wanted to use some of that golden light molding paste and use that Mr. Huey's, I think Chevron it's called, not embossing, light embossing paste, and I use a stencil. So there I'm just coloring the stencil with some of my homemade mist, and the first one I tried it, the nozzle wouldn't work, so I just skipped and went to a different color. So I just want a little bit of color on it. I didn't want it super bright because the papers and layers that I used weren't super duper yellow. So I figured that was a good kind of muted color. And it ended up being a little too light, so you're going to see in a minute I'm going to spray it. So I just use that spatula to spread it around. I figured at the bottom left and the top right, then the arrows would point to the middle because I was going to put my picture a little more centered. I'm just kind of using it up and seeing where I'm going to put the photo. And I don't know, it didn't end up quite like I wanted because I didn't end up positioning the photo where, you could see it. So I cleaned up my area, and on that, I'm not working on my desk. See what that's where I spray. I'm not working on my desk. I put it's a clear giant mat, just plastic. I don't know where I got it. I think in the desk area. And it's for, I don't know what it's for, but I saw it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could use that for scrapbooking. Even just to keep it on my tabletop, just to protect my surface. And I figured if it got dirty, it wouldn't matter. But then I put some of the homemade mist, or yeah, the mist and stuff on, and it wiped right off. And I don't know if it'll do that with everything, like with the like alcohol inks and stuff. I'm not really sure what it'll work with just to wipe right off, but it works for me for what I'm going to use it for. And it was from IKEA, so it was super duper duper cheap. So I won't mind if it gets stained. But my desk, oh my gosh, I can't even have a dot on it because it gets me so frustrated. So that's where I'm adding a piece of ugly paper that I know I'm never going to use, and I have a pile of that just to give it a little more support because of the warping. And I have some pieces that I didn't quite cut or, attach quite straight, so I just trimmed off whatever was hanging off. And that's the only thing with that mat, it is kind of sticky, so I had to work on getting everything out of the way. I was going to say crumbs, the little pieces and stuff. So here, I know there's something, I just use that trick that everyone's using. I've seen a few people use it already with the vellum, and I figured that would be a nice touch because I have a lot of vellum. So I just folded that and put it behind the photo. That orange piece is a part of a layer. And here I didn't think it matched because it was straight edges, so I decided to cut that. I didn't want to cut too much off, so I was trying to get really close to the edge, which is kind of hard. It's better if you have a bigger sheet of paper then it's not as, it's not hard, but it'll tear a little more easy. And I just use that same vintage photo distress ink for the edges of that. And I think I'm even going to shorten it because I think why I don't like it is because it's showing too much. And again, all that paper is from that same Simple Life little pad. So that hello, I don't know if you remember, was in one of those, I don't know, it was a big card, maybe a 4x6 card, and it was too big, I thought, for anywhere, so I decided to cut it out. I still don't like it, so I'm not going to end up using it. But I fussy cut it out anyways. Or anyway, rather. Just trying to find somewhere to journal. Because I did go see my cousin, and I mean, I know I've said it before, they are the sweetest people, and I love seeing them. We don't get to see them very often. If we're lucky, once or twice a year. This year is actually, no, in 2014 we saw them 2 times in that year, which is a miracle. Sometimes we don't see them at all for a couple of years, a few years. So I'm in Chicago, they're in Texas, so it's a bit of a ways, and airfare is, pretty expensive, especially when you go with your whole family. And she has children too, so it'd be kind of pricey. So I was just trying to use one of those little doilies from a not cut apart, it's a punch out little kit I got from Colorbach, I think, from Walmart. I had a million different, not a million, but a bunch of different doilies, but the colors just didn't match with what I was doing. So I'm not going to end up using that doily. And I just decided to put a couple of those stickers from the sticker sheet and a piece of that yellow polka dot that I actually used to mat the photo on. So I use that same color to bring it in. And I am so indecisive on this layout. I guess I just didn't like it. I think the choice of colors, I should just stick with what I like and bright colors and not try to use everything. But then, I don't know, after looking at it, it looks okay. So I'm just spelling out cousins. And I did a couple different things, and I didn't get a picture at the end of what I actually added. It's just a few things. I'll show you I'll tell you as I go along. So I don't know if it's around here when I decide I want to make that flower. I don't know if it's black or brown piece, a little shorter, and I use I'm going to move these around a lot. I'm going to use the ruler, I think, to not distress. I guess it is kind of distressing, that right corner. And that scallop edge says love you, so love you, so love you, so love you. It just repeats from that sticker sheet. And then I just put that under cousin so it'll have somewhere to kind of sit. And I still needed something else. So I wanted to pop up that flower, which is not going to go up there. It's going to move to the bottom by the cousin's title. And that journaling spot will stay there. I like it there, then I decide to move it down there. And see, I'm thinking it's too plain, so I'm looking for something longer to put there. And I remember that I have some glitter tape. So I decided to go with a gold one, and it's not glitter tape, it's like glitter ribbon. Oh my gosh, I'm going to throw it away. It's Recollections, just, I think it's called ribbon. I think it's just glitter ribbon. It doesn't have any adhesive on it. You have to, add it yourself, which would be fine, but then every time I touched the thing, it would just all the glitter would fall off, and I hate glitter all over the place. I love glitter, but I like it when it stays put because then I have it on my face and it just gets everywhere. So I really do not like that, aspect of glitter. So I'm just trying to put it under that layer, but I think I glued it too well. So I didn't want to damage it, and I just put it right up on top. So it takes a bit for me to get it down with the adhesive. So I decided just to make a little banner edge, and I always go the wrong way. So it was pointy, and then I had to do it again to make a little, you know, the correct cut. So I got that stuck down, and then my zip dry, I think it's gone. So I was trying to use that, and I just ended up going with the glossy accents. And those stickers are pretty sticky. I just stuck them back and they were fine for cousins. They're like a brown and like the mustardy yellow and white. Came with the kit. So I just added a little bit of glossy accents, but they kept coming up, so I had to hold them down. Then on the upper right, that little banner says, or the little sticker that's on the banner says Happy Day. And I think I told you about everything else. So I'm going to put that back right under there. And I needed something to finish off on the right, the edge, so I just used that little sticker. It says time for some fun. And I'm going to put that on some foam at some point. And that says hello, that little banner sticker. And I'm going to move that to the bottom by Cousins. So that is a DIY shop lovely embellishments. And I'm not going to use that turquoise flower. I wanted to. It says hello as well. But I do end up using a... Oh, that's where I'm going to cut it because I think that's the problem why I don't like it, because it was too long. So I'm just trying to shorten it. And that stuff just peeled right off. It didn't damage the paper at all, luckily. And just trying to get a little of the adhesive off, and I'm going to use the Distress ink on my white edges. And I didn't want to pull everything up, so I just kind of got some on the paper, which you can hardly tell in person anyway. I'm putting back my flower. Just attaching whatever was coming up on me. And that lovely is from that DIY shop. And that hello, because it was going to say hello lovely cousins, but I decided to put that hello on the bottom right. There I'm looking for some enamel dots or some kind of embellishment, rhinestones or something. I tried those turquoise ones, didn't like them, pulled them up, pulled up a little of the paper. Then I tried something else. I don't know, I just didn't like it. I tried to use one of those big flourishes, didn't really go. I didn't think. So I settled on those little dots. They're like pewter. So I try to put those all around. I didn't really like it, so I just put a few. I end up leaving a few. So those on the top are going to stay. And on the top, I'm also adding a teeny tiny, it's a Studio G punch, which I'm not going to show you. A Studio G punch, and I just punched out some teeny tiny little butterflies. It's like maybe the size of my pinky nail. And that's what I substituted all those dots for. I just put the butterflies. So that is going to complete my layout. I just did my journaling on there, and I just said that I went to visit my cousin Yomi, and that I love hanging with her and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.